Rebekah Buell is 21 years old and a junior at William Jessup University near Sacramento, California. She became unexpectedly pregnant with her son the summer before her senior year of high school. The news was shocking, but her parents and boyfriend were supportive and she never contemplated abortion. With the support of her family, she graduated high school early, delivered her son Elias, married his father, and started college. But within that first year, her marriage was failing and she filed for divorce. In the midst of all this, Becky discovered she was again pregnant. Fearing she'd lose the support of her parents, Becky went to Planned Parenthood.
I knew my mom was going to take it better than my dad. But my dad had said, you know, if you get pregnant again, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to leave. We've just done so much for you, and for you to do that again is not acceptable. I really honestly thought that we were going to have nowhere to go. I was looking at my future, and I had an 11-month-old son at the time, and I thought about him losing his home and me having to drop out of school, and that was the last hope I had for the two of us having a future.
What was the process like at Planned Parenthood when you went for the abortion?
They don't tell you much information. So they describe chemical abortions as convenient, something that you can hide. You can do it in the comfort of your own home. Taking that pill at that time, knowing what it would do to your baby, was really a defining moment for you, wasn't it? The love I had had for my first child just kind of hit me because I knew that I loved this child the same. I just was torn. But knowing that I had just taken his life, I thought that I had just taken his life, really stirred something in me. I felt panic. I felt literally instant regret. I was distraught and really looking for any type of solution to try to fix what I had just intended to do. So I was sitting outside of the Planned Parenthood clinic in Sacramento. I literally just walked out the door, and I had sat in my car, and I was just crying, and I was praying, and I was so lost. And I pulled out my phone, and I decided that I was going to search online for some type of abortion pill reversal. One website did come up, and it was abortionpillreversal.com, and they had a hotline number on the website and said, you know, if you're contemplating having an abortion, or if you've already taken the abortion pill and you want to reverse it, please call the hotline. And so I did, right there outside of the clinic. Becky called the 24-hour hotline and spoke with nurse manager Debbie Bradle. She calmed Becky down and told her there was hope for her unborn child if she wanted to try to reverse the abortion. Debbie described the reversal process of using progesterone injections to reverse the effects of the abortion pill. Debbie began looking for a doctor near Becky who was willing to administer the injections. After searching for 24 hours, Debbie finally found a doctor 2 hours away from Becky's location. Becky was anxious to proceed with the reversal and worried about her baby's survival. I was very scared that it wouldn't work, or even if it did work, that my child would be deformed for life. I had started this reversal process and never returned to Planned Parenthood, and they had called. I finally called them back and explained to them, you know, I'm trying to reverse this. I changed my mind. They had said on the phone, you know, what you're doing probably won't work. You realize that your child could likely be deformed from this. Why do you think they told you all those things? I don't think that they are as pro-choice as they claim to be. I think they're more pro-abortion. I think they definitely wanted me to finish what I had started in their clinic so that they can kind of wipe their hands of me and be done with the situation. So when you went to the doctor's office, they did an ultrasound. Yeah. What was it like when you heard your baby's heartbeat? It was a sigh of relief because I had known that if the abortion pill hadn't already terminated the baby, there was still hope, and hearing the heartbeat, it was really just a happy, encouraging moment. In a moment, we'll hear how Becky's parents reacted to her attempted abortion. Tom and Jan Buell had been married 22 years. When Becky was pregnant with her first son, they were shocked
but offered support and a place to live so Becky could continue to pursue her education. While they were supportive of Becky, Tom didn't think a second pregnancy would be a good idea. So when Tom heard a voicemail from Becky's doctor about her second pregnancy, he was shocked. And when Becky told her parents about her attempted abortion, they felt sorrow and regret.
I was very sympathetic from the beginning, and the baby was my big concern. I was so worried about the baby from the beginning.
At first I was angry because I didn't understand the whole situation of what had occurred with the RU-486 and, you know, the possible, you know, ramifications. And I mean, when I was fully brought up to speed, I mean, there was no more anger. It was just, I was scared to death.
I couldn't believe that she wouldn't come to me and tell me that. And I guess thinking back on it, she was just so stressed out, maybe so worried that she would upset her dad. I think she just panicked.
School, marriage falling apart, gonna let dad down, might get thrown out of the house. You know, as a father, you have to kind of scare your kids a little bit to say, hey, if you do this again, then there'll be no second chances. Of course, there's always second chances with your children. I'm sure that did at that moment before she took that pill. I'm sure all those things ran through her mind.
He was just shocked, and he was quiet and definitely sad and scared for the baby, and he was a lot more understanding than I expected him to be. One of the conversations he had said, why would you do that? Why would you be so ignorant to have an abortion? And I said, well, you know, I feared that I would be kicked out of the house. That's what you always told me. And so when he heard that, that hurt him. And to think that his words had pushed me to having an abortion, you know.
Did he express to you his sorrow about that?
He did. I think it's still something he thinks about. He's just learned a lot, you know, not something he still feels guilty about.
With the support of her parents, Becky continued receiving the progesterone injections throughout the duration of her pregnancy. And on October 20, 2013, Becky gave birth to a beautiful baby boy named Zachariah.
I saw him and he was perfect and he was completely normal. And I held him, and it was just relief. And I was so thankful for Debbie and for Colf's and to God for that divine intervention.
Do you have any regrets?
No. The fact that I'm able to positively affect other women, and that some light is being shown on Planned Parenthood and the lies that they're telling. I think a lot of good has come from this experience.
Using progesterone to reverse the effects of mifepristone is still a relatively new protocol. Many women and doctors are unaware there's hope for reversal after taking the first abortion pill. Dr. Delgado and Debbie are hoping to spread the word to as many people as possible and to continue gaining the support and help of doctors across the globe. If hearts and minds can be changed in those first few hours following the onset of the abortion process, thousands of babies could be saved. Well, to that pregnant girl who's watching this program and considering abortion, what would you tell her?
I would tell her that I've met a lot of women who have lived lives of regret, older women, younger women, everything, because they've had abortions, but I've never met someone who's regretted delivering their child and giving their child life. I would tell her it's not easy, but nothing in life is easy, and that it's just so worth doing because they're the biggest blessing.
I used to think different. You know, I've been educated tremendously in the last few years. You know, I used to think maybe it was none of my business, that it was purely the woman's choice, and it was, I just really didn't have any right to get involved. But when you really understand, you know, when is that life, when is that heartbeat, you know, and it is my business, it is every man's business to get involved, to say don't get that abortion. You know, there's alternatives.
What would you say to parents who have a young daughter facing an abortion decision? Do you think it'd be good for parents to let them know that they'll be with and alongside that girl to support them?
Of course, yes. I mean, you have to realize this stuff's coming, you know, drugs, alcohol, sex, all that stuff's coming, and open lines of communication and letting them know that I'm not going to condemn you. I'm going to love you, we'll get through this, you know, you don't have to do it alone.